Let's build the karaoke app now. All right, so what do we have to do? We need to have a web application that will listen to a queue and then play YouTube videos. It's a little more complicated than the other apps we've worked on so far. So I'm going to first go to anti-gravity, or you could go to Gemini or ChatGPT, whatever you would like, and just ask a few questions. Actually, I probably should have went to Gemini. So why don't we do that? You know what? I'll show you that you can use anti-gravity for this kind of stuff too. So without having to code, comma, I just want to ask you some questions about architecture, and then I can decide what I want to do next. Period. This is the application I want to make. How do you suggest we handle the technical design of this application? Question mark. Such as searching for YouTube videos, handling the queue, and playing the videos on my laptop. Okay, so this is the recommendation. And again, just to recap what the application is, it's you go to your friend's house, he sets up the laptop, goes to SingNow, it's a room, there's a QR code for the room, so you're on your phone, you scan the QR code, you go to the search page, you just start finding karaoke songs, you add them to the queue, it plays the karaoke songs on the laptop, and then there's a DJ. Okay, so let's take a look at what um, suggestions we have for actually implementing this. It's in controllers, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's good to see the limitations here. So suggest using the YouTube API to do the searches. You can only do 100 searches per day, which is not a lot. Right. Okay, then it suggests using this YouTube iframe player, which is great. So it basically lists out the whole architecture for me. The major limiting factor is definitely the 100 YouTube searches a day. That is not great at all. I think it's going to be okay for today's demo, but when I launch this thing, I might look for alternate ways to do the YouTube search, because you can imagine your friends, let's say you have 5 friends over, each of them are probably doing at least 30 to 50 searches. So that already blows past the quota just for one party. If you want to host multiple parties, then you're having real issues. So that is an issue, but everything is kind of laid out. So I think I'm ready to start building. Let's start. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go back to Stitch. So we created a whole bunch of screens in Stitch in the last video. I'm going to ignore the screens that I'm not going to use. Like this one is great, but it just has too much information. This is for like a desktop experience I don't need. These screens, I just thought they were a little too busy. They're nice, but there's like too much stuff going on the television. So I'm kind of scrapping the screens I don't need, and I'm only going to keep these screens: landing page. Here's a room. Scan the code. All of this I want. So I'm going to select the screens that I want, and then I'm going to go export, zip, export, and then you go grab the zip, put it in your project directory. I'm calling it reference. And here are all my pages. My zip. So this is all the context we need for anti-gravity to start building our app. We have the logo. We'll put the style guide in here. Let's see. Okay, let's build the Firebase server part of this project. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we have set up our server-side Firebase project. I'm going to say we need authentication and we need the Firestore database. This is for storing the queue for the karaoke queue. Create database. That's fine. That's fine. Authentic. Let's get started. We'll use email password, enable, save users. Let's create a test user. We have a user. We're going to use this user to test the system after it gets built. Okay, so we have a database and we have a user. Next thing we need to go is here, setting. You're going to create a web app. This is just for a demo, so I'm not going to host it on the web, but you'll probably want to do Firebase hosting for yours. Register app. Okay, and this is what we need to talk to our server in the backend. I'll be deleting this project because I'm too lazy to edit the video, so we don't have to worry about the credentials. Okay, so then is enough context for us to start building. So let's go. I have my SingNow folder. I'm going to drag it to here. Anti-gravity, the main project. Yes, I trust the authors. Let's do this. So I'm going to grab the style guide here. Okay, that's the style guide design system. Here's the description of the application when we built the logo. So then we just go. This is the description of my web application. The logo is in the logo folder. Whoops, that was a mistake. Stop. Let's try this again. The design of the screens are in the reference folder. In the reference folder, you'll see the first two screens. One has a landing page for the desktop experience. Once a user logs in and creates a room, the room experience is basically just a YouTube video queue, period, with a QR code on the bottom right. Users scan the QR codes on their phone. You'll see the design of the screens in the same reference folder, period. Please note, that regular users only get to search for videos and see what's in the queue. Admin users can search for videos, see what's in the queue, move songs or delete songs in the queue, designate other users to be admins. The first person that scans the QR code is automatically an admin. The following is the style guide and design system. Okay, so I'm going back to Gemini here, going to copy the style guide and design system we created earlier. What else do we want to tell it? Okay, let's grab the Firebase information. This will be a Firebase application with configuration information here. Let's use the YouTube search API with the key here. Once you've built everything, test with this user. Okay, and need a YouTube data API. Let's create here. Let me see what we can do with this quota. Amazing quota. Per minute, 10,000. Adjustable quota. So I can apply for higher quota. I'll probably try that. If I have issues, I might look for alternatives. Because 100 queries a day is just crazy. These ones are actually okay. Queries per minute. That's nuts. So then let's go back to, where was it? Back to data API, manage, create credential, API key. I'll create this. You're going to want to restrict it to your website in the future. But for now, since I'm going to delete this key after this demo, I'm just going to create it. Copy. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we've given anti-gravity, logo, all the screens we want built, Firebase information in the backend, style guide, the API keys it needs, which is the YouTube search API, the test user. I think we have everything we need, so let's have it build it. So it did everything we just asked. Didn't test with the test user. That's the one thing I noticed. Why? It's asking me to test. So that's the only complaint I have so far. Can you start the server and test with your built-in browser with this user, please? So let's take a look. Let's review the test. So here you can see anti-gravity did the testing for us. Okay, I have to say the testing video isn't the most video we've ever watched. Let's see what the summary has to say. So unfortunately, you can't really fast forward this as well. I will do some testing myself, and you can try SingNow on the vibestartup.net website. It should be singnow.vibestartup.net. Feel free to leave me some notes in the comments. Thank you.